Highs or lows?
Hi.
Yeah, you could just barely squeeze under a crack in the bottom of the door.
In which case, I would like you to move the eye
Sure.
into the room beyond, please.
Alright, because I was trying to find a way to mage hand that door open for you.
For the record, everything that Soren sees, she is going to be conveying as she goes to the rest of the party. So she's explained where the eye is. She's explained the gas is coming from the ground.
All right, so this area gets a little weird, so hold off on moving through it.
Okay.
Beyond the door, the stairway leads down, but the way down the stairs is blocked by a whole bunch of thick cobwebs that fill the area from steps to ceiling. So actually, I'm going to add another dynamic lighting that they didn't include to indicate that the webbing is like blocking your view past the stairs. There.
It's okay, as long as it's not a solid barrier, the eye will be able to just pass right through.
This is exceptionally thick webbing.
Almost solid.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm sure it's not completely solid. There must be little gaps. Like, have you ever seen a spider web? It has, by nature, small little gaps in it. So as long as there's something an inch big, it'll be able to get through.
Webbing can be pretty tightly packed.
Yeah. Go ahead and
it might require some finagling, flying around.
Go ahead and roll, like, you control this thing, right?
Yeah, it goes where she wills.
Go ahead and like roll intelligence or agility. It's up to you, I guess. Or whatever your casting stat is. I forget what class you are.
I'd like to ask for a guidance on this.
Just to try to like find a hole in the webbing and not accidentally get stuck. It's like thicker than normal webs. Like, actually, go ahead and do you have Arcana?
No.
Or just if you're describing this to everyone, someone else can roll Arcana.
I will. I have Arcana. I will roll Arcana.
I have Arcana as well.
I got 22.
Okay, why don't you roll it? Why don't you roll it? Because Bortran's kind of, while everybody's mid-casting and doing stuff and the other tank is looking through a spell, he's more keeping an eye on things and actively making sure we're not going to get
there it is.
Trapped or ambushed.
22 Arcana.
Okay, so this is pretty similar to like the web spell. Possibly even thicker, so it's definitely not just like naturally occurring cobwebs. But with that 21, you are able to weave your way through and find a tiny hole and peep through to the other side.
Okay.
So let me just move this.
Okay, nice. Such a good spell.
Yeah, it really is. I'm just going to delete that.
But it's not Fireball.
Alright, so as you pass into the room beyond, you see immediately, like lying on the floor here, an iron mace inlaid with silver. And south of this location is a modest-sized room. It seems to be filled with rotting and decayed furnishings. And I'm going to give you 2 handouts, actually, the old and the new. You also see a gold couch along the back wall, and there's a skeletal figure that, go ahead and someone roll Knowledge Arcana again.
Better be you again, just because.
Or religion.
Yeah, not great that time.
Kick.
I'll throw a religion in.
Okay. Are you?
Y'all suck.
I assume the eye doesn't make like a lot of noise or it doesn't give off light or anything, right?
No, the Arcane is completely invisible. Can't see it.
Oh, it's literally invisible?
Yeah, you need magical senses.
Oh, sick. Okay, perfect. So you don't need to roll stealth at this point. Okay, so you see in the back, sitting on this couch, is a skeletal figure that resembles a lich. wearing a crown on its head. And let me just give you the handouts here. Where are you? Okay. Wait, where'd it go?
I feel obliged to mention, if it is a lich, it will be able to see the eye because it has true sight up to 120 feet.
All right. Well, here's the new handout. We don't need to do both, but it's missing the mace on the floor. But I already described the mace on the floor to you, so that's what you see in the back.
Okay.
Doesn't seem to notice anything.
In which case, emboldens, the eye is going to move up and start to examine it from all different directions.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, you're gonna
What would
get
I-
basically
Sorry.
the details that are in that picture. It doesn't seem just a lot of random stuff in here, like a jade coffer and like a bunch of gold, and there's some spell scrolls and some potions scattered about and all kinds of stuff.
It's a bit of a hoard.
Yeah,
Um,
but covered in
what-
thick dust.
2 questions. Firstly, what would I roll to identify what the skeleton is? Secondly, what would I roll to identify if it's alive, if you get what I mean? Like, is it around? Like, is somebody
Animated.
home? Is someone home?
Uh,
Well,
That-
normally
those
you'd
sound
like
both like
detect
Arcana
magic or
checks.
something.
Okay.
Can
That's
you-
to identify what it is, and that's to identify if anyone's home.
Hmm.
The second one might be redundant after the first one, though.
I mean, it looks like a lich, but you do understand that a lich would probably have noticed the eye. It does seem to be like maybe twitches every once in a while, like it's probably some kind of undead. It's not moving much.
Like, there's a horde of stuff there, including presumably magical items. Who's to say that the skeleton just didn't grab one and put it on its head? Like, it might not actually be a lich. It might just be a bog standard skeleton.
it does sound like the lich we're after, but we have no means of getting down there.
It's not him. It's definitely not him. Do you know why? Because it's a demi-lich. Demi-liches are just heads.
Oh.
Like, she'll mention, like, if you brought that up, like, in character, Silver respond,
Yeah,
like, no, it couldn't be. A demi-lich is just a head.
I was gonna just give you that because you rolled high enough on the Arcana, but that's sort of meta. But like, it's definitely within character knowledge. So
Yeah, there's no way she's a rather strong wizard
no,
with
totally.
a lot of experience.
Yeah,
There's no
yeah.
way she would know what a lich is.
yeah,
It's kind of like sorcerers not knowing what dragons are.
oh totally, yeah, that's true. Yeah,
Okay, I take
So-
offense to that.
Yeah, the question she would put to them all then is, should we advance in that direction and investigate further?
Well, we have.
I say we send.
We have no way to get rid of that gas currently. There may be a means of dispersing it elsewhere. Maybe some kind of trigger that will clear out this corridor.
I would also like to point out that my gear is in the general direction of this other door that we've been fussing with, so I may be more useful if I can at least get some of it back.
All right.
hey, druid person, can you roll knowledge nature?
So what?
Tarbin, can you roll nature? I assume you have knowledge nature.
In which case, she's going to start withdrawing the arcane eye. Can you please
All right,
pass it?
yeah.
Again?
One sec. Cool. Tarbin,
And-
you recognize that this gas, the bottom of the stairs, it just sort of came to you. You realize you recognize this as a kind of fear gas that like affects the lungs, and if somehow you were able to like not breathe it in, it wouldn't affect you.
Yeah, I kind of had a hunch that we could just hold our breath for the 30 feet that's there. As long as we don't breathe that in, it doesn't go in through the eyes or anything else. I mean, I don't want to rely on the water breathing spell, assuming that we're breathing from some other source, but I think we could just hold our breath for that long.
We could do, but then there's the webs to deal with ahead, and that'll get the witches.
And I mean, I've got fire and abilities that we could easily get through the webs, but my vote's on trying to find Bortran's stuff and whatever's over to the right.
I agree entirely. Yes.
I not to be a party pooper, but I would much rather approach a lich of some kind in armor rather than just bare scales.
Yeah,
also, in regards to the hallway, how thick were the webs? Like 10 feet, 15 feet?
Like the whole stairway there was pretty much full of them.
But how much of a distance was it?
We couldn't see.
Yeah, it was about 10 or 15 feet thick.
Okay.
Like the stairway is 15 feet long.
I do have the ability to breathe fire in short bursts, and I could probably, without wasting any spells, clear out that area of webs very quickly without alerting the lich, other than a roar of fire. But we wouldn't have to sit there casting spells repeatedly to clear it. I could burn out the whole hallway in one go.
I also have means of giving any creature the ability to breathe fire.
Yeah, this is Dragon's Breath spell, 2nd level.
Nice.
Love it.
It's one of my favorite spells. Yeah, she's going to start sending the arcane eye ahead while we're discussing all this.
Nice.
So let me know if I ever have to stop it. I'm going to be rolling perception again.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, we'll be reperceptioning when we go through. This is just a cursory.
My biggest fear
that's
is
fine. Yeah. Okay, your eye is gonna see just as well as any of the rest of you will. So.
my biggest fear is we get down there, we try to we open the door to the webs, we set it on fire, the whole corridor with the gas and the
Explodes.
the gas and the webs just
playing.
explodes.
You've been playing too much Original Sin.
Maybe.
That's funny.
All I can say is I cannot wait for Boulder's Gate.
Nice,
No,
nice.
I'm at the end of the doorway.
So
here.
there's just a doorway.
Same question with the other door. Can
let me
the arcane eye get
Go
through?
ahead and roll. Highs again.
Low this time. Treachery.
It is tightly sealed. Almost. If it was like if it was like a centimeter, you could fit, but an inch is just a little bit too big. If only you had a shrink the arcane eye spell, it'd be funny.
Enlarge reduce on invisible object.
Yeah.
Having the bat fly down, doing echolocation.
Sure. There seems to be a decent sized room on the other side of that door.
Alright, not seeing anything. I can't even see
Here's
that.
the thing.
On the other side of this door.
If the echolocation works, that means there has to have been a gap for the sound waves to pass through.
Well, yeah, there's a gap, but it's just not an inch.
Okay. All right.
Technically, sound only needs like pinprick of space to squeeze through. It's like water. It can get through.
And with
just about
echolocation,
anything.
you could theoretically hear through something that's hollow on the other side.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Yeah.
That was what I was thinking how it worked, but.
All right. So, you want my advantaged stealth,
No, you want to.
and I want my advantaged perception, courtesy of Yeah, Hawk. You suck, Hawk. But I got higher than that with the eye anyway.
As
No traps or like, I'm guessing?
Yeah, no, you feel like pretty good that there's no traps with a 24. I know some GMs like I don't know. I'm okay. I'm okay if characters are like aware of how well they did on a skill. Like if you do a 24, like you like know that you searched well. Like, you know, sometimes that's a mystery, but I'm fine with that. Oh, and also for the record, with the knowledge thing, I know there's different ways of doing this. Some people you like have to ask to roll a knowledge thing, but sometimes like knowledge is not something you like actively like take an action to remember. You just might remember something if you have the knowledge for it. So that's what I did back there.
Yeah.
You guys are all cool with that.
My preference is if you start rolling before I tell you to, you could fail and forget about something.
That's funny. All right, cool. So
sometimes I am willing to just give it to you, but if you want to roll a dice and roll horribly, that's on you.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
As Siluran's going ahead, Tarbin just kind of looks at the ball of fire in his hand and thinks about what the party said about the gas being flammable. You said he kind of recognized this gas. Does he know it to be flammable or not flammable?
1 second.
If you want to find out for sure, you've got produce flame and you can throw.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He looks at the fire in his hand, and if he doesn't know, he's just going to toss it in.
You think it's probably not.
All right, just to make sure. I'm going to get here and just tell them to get into the hallway.
Running.
For the record, I'm not casting daylight. I was trying to click on the info to see if it was mobile or if it was mobile.
That's fine. You didn't say that you were, so it's all good. Sorry. That's funny.
I was going to use daylight because it's only verbal and somatic, but it's an immobile space, so I can't carry it with me.
Yeah. Because it's a third level spell, and why are you blowing a third level spell on some fighters?
I was just looking. I was literally just looking, and I clicked the wrong spot. Yeah, I am so used to just firing shit off because it's all battle spells. Most of the time, NPCs don't use stuff like this.
Yeah.
Unless you're fighting Drow.
Yeah, this DM flaunting his spells with his many Dragonborn NPCs.
Oh, shut up. I can't see. If I come with you, I can't see. Just for the record, like the only reason I can see anything is
okay. I'll hold your hand. Come here.
Okay.
Tarbin tosses the ball of fire into the gas just to make sure.
Flies down there and dissipates harmlessly.
Cool. He casts another one in his hand and then goes back.
All right.
And now I'm going to do what is known as a pro gamer move.
Oh boy! All right.
360 no scope.
No, I'm going to draw my sword and I'm going to use Green Flame Blade and I'm just going to hold it.
Oh, you're going to do that again?
So as a light source so that he can see the door we're investigating.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Does that lose concentration on Arcane Eye to cast another spell?
It is not concentration, but...
Like she's just recasting Green Flame Blade over and over, basically.
I know, but Arcane Eye is a concentration spell.
It is, and
I don't think Green Flame Blade is concentration.
It is not.
So you're good. Yeah.
I'm just making sure. I don't want to.
Yeah.
I want to break the game.
All right. So go ahead and do your investigation. Clawing around the door, etc., etc.
For some reason, I think there's like this esoteric rule out there when you ready a spell.
Okay. You feel pretty confident that it's a normal door, like a lot of the other doors. That it's not probably going to release a spear when you open it.
Probably not going to release a spear.
It seems like it's just a normal old door that's going to open into a good-sized room.